Asif, I want to throw a similar question to you. I think it's really interesting to hear that during the pandemic, you decided to take a pause to support, your own religious community, but you similarly had, a lot of experience at these larger companies, right? Amazon, LinkedIn, and then made a decision, obviously the pandemic might have driven that, but unlike Summer, you came in, you were not a co-founder of Handshake, but you came in later on in their journey. I think they started in 2014, I believe, and you came in 2020, probably at a very important inflection point, but in the middle of the pandemic. So just curious for you, like what did you learn from, that you brought into the company at the time that you were joining? And then also just what drove that decision, really to join at a time where, things were so uncertain in the world?
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting time for all of us. So as I said, I'm a search engineer, and I look at everything as a search problem. So when I was presented Handshake, I looked at it as a search problem. It's a matching problem. How do we help students find the right opportunities? How do we help employers find the right candidates? And there's some very interesting kind of technical problems there in terms of matching and finding the right recommendations, looking at kind of student behavior and finding the right kind of propensity for them to apply to a particular job. So actually, a lot of my experience and thinking at LinkedIn were directly translatable to my product thinking at Handshake. So that was definitely something that was not new to me. And on top of that, my counseling with students in my community also gave me a kind of understanding of like how this age segment thinks and what they're looking for. One of the things that was apparent to me in all my research and communication with this segment was that young people are frustrated in better representing themselves. They do not want a static LinkedIn profile. They want their whole selves to be shown to the world. And can Handshake or somebody like Handshake provide a forum for them to be seen the way they want to be seen? There are lots of folks on the margins that do not have degrees from a tier 1 university, but definitely have the skills, but they don't get noticed. LinkedIn is not necessarily optimized for people without rich experience, deep education or deep network. So how do we help this new generation of workers kind of seed themselves into the industry in the right trajectory for them? So I think all those problems were not foreign to me based on my community work and my LinkedIn work. And then on top of that, I think Handshake, as you point, was at an inflection point. They had product market fit. They had, most universities and schools in the US were now on Handshake. As a result, we had access to more students. But now the question was, how do we scale this forward? And I joined Amazon, and my first problem at Amazon was, hey, everybody thinks of us as a bookstore, but we sell so much more than books. So can you help us expose the rich inventory? So, I've seen Amazon go from 2001 to now in terms of, powering all of internet from a bookstore. And similarly, the growth at LinkedIn. So I thought that was a good fit for both, Handshake and I, in terms of bringing my value of taking an organization at that junction and helping it scale the next 1, 2, 3 levels.